Hello again, folks, and as I said that I expected the base to be done Saturday. It's 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I probably finished it up, say, let's say around an hour ago, all put together. So again, is the Solo Music Gear Solo GB style do-it-yourself electric bass guitar. Again, the printed manual gave relatively good instructions. Again, of course, if you've ever played around with guitars, disassembling them, refinish them, and so forth and so forth. The manual, for the most part, might be only good for like about one or two pages. First off, before I show the guitar, my one gripe I would have to say of the kit is this little thing here. This is what they connected to the control plate for your ground wire to ground to the bridge. And as you can see here, that is really not that long. So the only thing I've done to this kit otherwise is actually gotten a thicker gauge of string, a thicker gauge of guitar wire to run to the bridge for the ground and resoldered it in place. Everything else otherwise went pretty much on par, and everything has worked for the most part. So I know some of you seen the previous video of the body kind of refinished, but again, I said that's where it would end. So with that said, enough of me talking. Here is the bass fully assembled. It is playable, but it does have to be set up further. So this is mainly going to be just a visualization of what the kit turned into. Everything on the kit is otherwise what they give you in the box to put it all together. Okay. Start from the headstock. As you see here, I give it my own little Boyer customization. The fretboard, I did give a heavy rosewood, I gave the rosewood a really good drenching with the lemon oil. And out of the three colors I had left around for stain, I figured the golden wheat was actually the best, so that's what I went with. So again, there's definitely some issues here and there, like around the neck pocket there. The cut around for the pickguard's a little rough. Beyond that, it is super heavy. Again, don't let anyone tell you that basswood is junk or can't be heavy. This is like extremely heavy. This body, when I put it together, or when I picked it up, and there I am whacking my headphones. So again, hardware doesn't seem to have a real issue. Like, the bridge seems to have a good amount to it. The neck is straight. Again, the same thing with a lot of these Chinese things. The bad thing is usually the screws. More so, the screws for the tuners were an issue. Everything else wasn't. So apparently I missed finishing screwing down one of the screws. But other things I did do to this, I have done some things. Let me just show the body more here. And a bit in the neck. There's a nice, like, a fair amount of flaming going on the neck. The one issue with this is, again, the cheap ass screws to put the tuners in place. That, as well as the string tree. Beyond that, I'll put it down here and off to the off in front of me here, more so. So again, I used the salmon golden wheat wood stain / dye. Wiped it all over. Did it for both the headstock and the neck, and the headstock, the neck, the body. And what I did, as you'd seen with the previous video with the body, I actually, as you've seen and figured out, I cut it back so that some of the green would pop through. And there's some spots where there's definitely some issues still. Like in the in around the horn rootings here. I couldn't manually get to it. I need to buy a proper sander, proper round cylindrical sanding thing that you can buy from hardware stores. Tuners aren't too bad. Maybe feel a little cheap. They're not like super fancy, but again, it is a cheap kit. Again, the screws that went in to the tuners, luckily enough, I smartened up and I got a drill bit and actually pre-drilled the holes. Otherwise, it might have been an issue. Same thing again with the string tree. Again, as you might notice, all around the outer sides of the body and the neck, a little bit onto the neck here, and you see it down at the heel. I left it almost as solid as I could, but in the actual back of the headstock and the front of the headstock, I took away most of the finish and left it almost back to original as possible. This wood they used on this particular neck had a lot of kind of flaming and greening running all over it. Other things, again, my last name. Yes, that's kind of doxing myself, but anyways, this is all wood burned in kind of roughly. Again, it is up to tune. The strings are definitely a little too high off the fretboard. The neck is straight. I really honestly haven't had to do anything to this other than put it together, wire it up, and came out with the bass. And so far from having it together and kind of noodling around on it, the actual pickups are a little bit louder than on the Ibanez I had previously, so that's kind of a nice thing because it seemed like I had to use my Viper like really loud before I had anything coming through. The only things I really did physically other than kind of grooving in the back of these two horns inside a little bit more than I should have, and as can be seen, but it's fine because I wanted it to be like a worn, used player style. This I kind of curved a little better to a more nicer kind of roundness to it, and a little bit bigger. It was pretty squared off. I give it a nice kind of thing. And again, the belly cut, I also opened it up a little bit more and made it a slight bit bigger. Again, overall for 170 Canadian, which I think works out to like about 180 or something like that before the discount. I think it's about 186 Canadian you pay for this shipped. Pretty much Canada. What I paid, of course, in Canadian, shipped anywhere in Canada, or if you're in the States, you can you pay a bit less, and it's also free shipping to the States too, so that's a big kind of advantage. Other impressive things to me, and again, even as some people have pointed out in previous reviews for this, the strings are actually really nice strings. Normally you get shitty strings when you're buying a kit. You don't usually get very good strings, but these are really nice. Like, I mean, literally it feels like strings you just went and bought and pulled out of a pack. I mean, who knows, they could even do that, but otherwise to buy a cheap kit and actually get a good set of strings is just like crazy. Again, I gotta set it up properly. I did plug it in. I did give it a pluck around, and again, all the electrics work, so it's all good. So again, that's the solo music gear jazz bass, and later on tonight I shall have a sound sample up after the strings have been lowered and the rest of the intonation and setup is done properly on it. But I would have to say, for anyone who is building a kit or wants to buy a bass to build out of a kit, so far, other than the issue with the screws, if you did as Eric reminded me, thank you again, Eric, and others, if you take your time and follow the instructions and everything else well, you will end up with a nice playable bass. Catch you later, folks, and hope everyone's well.